Susie and I had to hit the button every 3.5 to 5 minutes to make it stop making noise because his head was pounding so bad that they couldn't give him anything until they read his
Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Borough Council meeting of January 24th, 2022 to order. This meeting has been properly advertised in the Home News Tribune of January 7th, 2022, according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Due to COVID-19, this meeting, never mind. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Newbauer? Here. Councilwoman O'Donnell? Here. Councilman Peretti?
Here.
Councilman Potter?
Here.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Here.
Council President Zambrana?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Please rise for a moment of silence followed by a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we will move on to a presentation. So we have the Human Relations Committee, Courtney Williams and Patty Murray here from the Human Relations Committee, and they will present some survey results that they gathered.
Patty Murray, Chair of the HRC Committee. First, I want to thank Mayor and the Council last year for creating the commission, or the committee. And I want to thank also Mayor and Councilman Peretti for being so active and helping us. I also want to personally say that I'm just so proud to be part of this committee and working with Courtney and all the other wonderful committee members. We've had quite a year. We hit the ground running last February, starting with creating our strategic plan and all the things that we're going to do. Then we got to work with being part of the Multicultural Festival. We did presentations here to Council on Juneteenth and Pride Month. We also had a Pride activity here at the Borough Hall. And let's see, we had a wonderful presentation from the Milltown Police Department on what is anti-bias crimes and how we can all help with that. And we also were participating in Milltown Day, and then we started a book club. And so that's been going pretty well. It meets on the second Wednesday of each month, and we publicize it through the library, and we're thankful for the library to support that. The other big activity that we had was spearheaded by Courtney Williams and Carla Garcia, and it was a survey of our community. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Courtney to give us the results.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. For those who don't know, my name is Courtney Williams. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the vice chair of the Human Relations Committee. So the idea behind the survey was really to guide the work that we do, really, and tie it to the needs of the community. Obviously, this is the first of its kind in this town, and so we really wanted to have community input in some of the projects and the work that we do. So obviously, most of you signed into law this ordinance the year before last, and so just to remind you, we're here to really connect to the community and bring the concerns really to the forefront, and that is not always to bring it to the council, but to bring it back to the community and hold spaces and forums and educational opportunities for others to learn, connect, and to grow together. So that is probably best and easiest done through a survey. So we got the idea of launching this community survey, which we had open for just about a month between August and September, and we got a total of 186 responses, which is pretty great considering a town of this size. And so we're going to go through some of those results, but really this was a gauge for both us to understand how people felt about our current activities at that time, but really where we were going forward. So just to give we did ask some demographic background information from people. So most of the people who answered were current residents and all between the ages of 25 to 64. Majority white with, the next biggest groups being Black or African American, Asian or Asian American, and others identifying as Latinx or Hispanic. We did have a larger female population answer or respond, and the majority of them were Christian. So some of the themes that we pulled out through this survey were that people wanted more community-centered events, opportunities to engage, easier ways to engage, and to access the information to do so, but also the opportunity to form, subcommittees to address like specific concerns around the community, or just to address some like interest. This is super small, but I believe you all have the results, so you can go through and look at them. But some of those responses that we pulled out, I think like just the narrative, we did ask a few narrative open-ended questions. So some people said they wanted the kids' Halloween parade back. They wanted more to create opportunities for people to promote Borough programs and groups already established. So using and promoting what we have already in a new and different way. A big thing around here is how to get information, how to connect to each other. And I think we can all agree that it's usually through the internet, and many, many people are asking for that. And even it's just a community forum, connections through Facebook, Twitter, just updates on even how to show up to any of these meetings to even ask for what they need. And just the idea that in today's world, there just needs to be more inclusive spaces, and what that really looks like. And, inclusion looks like many different things to many people, but from the results of the survey, it was pretty clear that more people wanted to be involved. It just needed to speak to them more clearly. So, some of the goals that we have set out for ourselves, and also from the results of our survey, we're continuing to define the scope of the HRC to best serve the community. So I think it's going to be that we're going to routinely kind of survey at the end of the year just the work that we are doing, and hopefully set up a structure to do that. So again, the work can be tied to the needs of the community as it grows, as we continue to put things out there. Another big one is to collaborate more. I think we have so many great businesses and committees and entities within the town that are looking for new and fresh ways to get their names out there, as well as showcase like this kind of intergovernmental communication model. And so we at the HRC have been trying to do that. We've been partnering with the library. Obviously, we've had a lot of support from council. We held our Pride event right here in the front steps on the sidewalk. And so just looking to do more of those things with a lot of the existing groups in the town. And also just continuing to have a close relationship with you guys, the mayor and council, to be able to help you understand like more of the relevant and necessary issues that mainly some people just don't, you maybe not hearing, or maybe not seeing, or maybe not thinking about. And so we're really here to help, be a liaison to that, some of that work. And just to close it out, here's some of the wonderful pictures with some of you who have participated. And so, last year we were able to do a chalk event. We're now hosting a monthly book club. We were participants in the Milltown Idea Multicultural Festival. We were also participants in Milltown Day. And so we're hoping to do a lot more of just getting out into the community and bringing it also back to you guys. And so, thank you for your time, and if anybody needs to reach us, that's our email.
So can we keep you there for a minute? Can you go back a few slides?
Yep.
To the survey results?
Yes.
Yes, so I have it I can see it on mine.
Yes.
For those that are watching at home, the ones, there are 4 or 5 that are the biggest number. 50% were more structured, larger community gatherings that you mentioned, right? Mm-hmm. Then there was something that said structured but more relaxed, and then it cuts off. What is that, Courtney?
Structured but more relaxed, kind of just community get-togethers. I think there's difference between, the giant book clubs or tabling at festivals. I think people are just looking for, basically a coffee and chat kind of thing. Right. So no commitments, but a way to connect. And
then there was formation of new committees, more religious gatherings, which we can't control, different ways to obtain information, which is, a big one. And then what was interesting was I do not think anything needs to change, was 21. And then the rest down at the bottom were just one person. Right, but I think you touched on the majority.
Yep.
Does anybody from the council have any questions for the HRC?
Not a question, but a comment, but just, I was fortunate enough to be liaison to the committee last year and this year as well, so done for an inaugural year for a committee, it's done a lot. Just as your highlight for what you guys have done so far, so I look forward to continuing doing that throughout this year, so it's a really exciting group.
I agree. You got an awful lot done, and we look forward to, working together in many, many years to come. Yes, thank you.
And Courtney, I'd just like to commend you on your volunteerism, being on this committee, and excited to see what the HRC can bring to our community in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll add my thanks as well, Courtney and Patty and your entire committee have run fantastic events that have been a lot of fun to participate in.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to the approval of minutes from December 13th, 2021. May I have a motion and a second? And that's going to be from, Mimi, right, the folks that were here in December, correct? Or,
Yeah, no, they can vote, they'll just probably abstain.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sorry, did someone give you the motion and a second
I need a
yet?
motion and a
A
second.
motion to approve the council minutes of December 13th, 2021.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman O'Donnell, second by Councilman Peretti. Any comments or corrections?
I'll be abstaining from the December minutes.
Right, you and Mr. Potter.
No, I was actually in the audience at the time.
Oh, okay, good, even better. All right, so,
So all in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to the approval of minutes from January 3rd, 2022.
Madam Mayor, I move that the minutes be approved as typed.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilman Revelinsky. Any comments or corrections?
Just a question. Do I have to, I was on the phone, so I don't have to abstain.
No,
for that,
you
right?
can't.
Okay.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move on to comments from the audience on resolutions. If any member of the public wishes to speak on any of the resolutions, please identify yourself to the clerk and say your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to resolutions listed on the agenda. Note, the resolutions are now available on the website, bundled behind the agenda so you can see them in their entirety prior to the meeting. Seeing none, we'll close audience comments and move on to the bills and claims. Will the clerk please read by title only the bill resolution 053, 2022?
Resolution 53, 2022 is authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $3,277,064.33.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Revelinsky, second by Councilman Peretti. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Neubauer?
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Potter?
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Aye.
Council President Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll move on to the introduction of resolutions. When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by the Borough Council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Are there any questions, or does anyone want to pull any resolutions from the consent agenda? There being no request to pull any resolutions, will the clerk please read the consent resolution?
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting, and whereas the Borough Clerk has posted a consent agenda for this meeting. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the Borough Clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the Borough Clerk.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that these resolutions be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilwoman Newbauer. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilwoman Newbauer?
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Potter?
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Aye.
Council President Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Now we will move on to the council reports. We'll start with the Department of Finance, Administration, and Planning. Council President Phil Zambrana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have two short reports. I do not have a report for the Finance, Administration, and Planning Committee. I do have a report from the Senior Center, and I'll just read it verbatim. It's not that long. This is respectfully submitted by Debbie Cuddy, Director of the Milltown Senior Center. Members of the Senior Center would like to thank their previous council liaison, Nick Legati, for a great job and his dedication to the seniors. He will be truly missed. They look forward to working with our new council liaison, Phil Zambrana, in the coming year. The members of the Senior Center organized a holiday collection for several organizations, including Toys for Tots, the Veterans Home in Edison, and Elijah's Promise. Our seniors continuously filled up the donation boxes through December. These donations were then successfully distributed to the respective charities, and the recipients were very grateful. During the winter months, the Senior Center will continue with activities including aerobics, tai chi, yoga, line dancing, bingo, chorus, and the men's club. There will also be available a VNA nurse, which is regularly scheduled once per month to meet with our seniors. Senior Center is in the process of starting a women's club. This will be very similar to the men's club, and we'll be having breakfast or lunch each week. All ladies 60 plus are invited to join. Arts and crafts have been added to the calendar on a monthly basis. Arts and crafts are scheduled every other Friday at 11:30 a.m. This is a good one. They'll also be starting up our Wii bowling class twice a month on Fridays from 11:30 to 1:30. Great way to exercise indoors, especially during the winter months. The meals program, Meals on Wheels, is still up and running, and everyone is encouraged to ask for more information to receive meals, or to volunteer, or to call the Senior Center at 732-296-0681. The Milltown Senior Center is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Debbie can be reached via email at dcuddy@milltownborough.com. And that concludes that report. I have a short report for the Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency, which met on January 18th. Like all first meetings of the year, this is a reorg. Folks were sworn in, professionals were appointed, and as everyone knows, with the Ford Avenue situation, it's still in litigation. Hopefully at some point down the road, that will change, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. So may I ask you a question? How does one join the Senior Center
There's a form.
on the, where?
I did not see it on the website, although if you search for the form, I think you can find it's a fillable PDF. It's also available at the center anytime that it's open.
Well, Wii bowling.
Yeah,
breakfast.
Wii bowling, yes.
Check
I might show up for that.
Check it out. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Public Safety. Councilman David Potter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'm going to remove my mask because my glasses keep on fogging up, so I apologize. I have two reports. The first one's from the Milltown Fire Department, and this is the report for December 2021. So for this time, I'm actually going to read the month, and also, too, they have the year, which I think is very, very interesting to also report. So as far as drills, they had 2 for the month and 33 for the year. For the meetings, they had 1 meeting, but 12 for the year. Fire calls, they had 4 in December and 145 for the year. Special assignments, 4 for the month and 44 for the year. Work details, 4 for the month and 44 for the year. Total incidents for the month of December was 15, and for the year, 278. And just to let you know, there was over 4,519 man-hours put in for the year. So thank you very much to the Milltown Fire Department. So some general information. The fire department had several holiday events, including delivering Santa to Borough Hall for the tree lighting, pictures with Santa fundraiser, department Christmas party, delivered Santa to the American Legion, and conducted the annual Santa tour of Milltown with the Milltown Rescue Squad. The membership donated treat bags used for the tree lighting ceremony. As of December 27th, the Milltown Fire Department began a mandatory mask policy to keep the membership as healthy as possible during the recent uptick in COVID cases. Regarding membership, Sergio Azari's resignation letter was accepted. However, they have new members. Shane Ewing started his tenure with the fire department, and they are very excited to have him. Training. Members performed a walkthrough pre-plan of the Turnpike Maintenance Building and Turnpike Bassett Warehouse Building on Ackerman Avenue, and 5 members attended the class at the Middlesex County Fire Academy for tank truck incidents. Regarding vehicle maintenance, Engine 72's water tank was repaired in West Virginia and shipped back to the vendor in Farmingdale. The tank will be reinstalled and the apparatus will be ready for pickup when the pipe on back order arrives, so stay tuned. Car 83 had a battery installed, rack and pinion steering replaced, and oil change. This car is 22 years old and the transmission continues to slip. Ladder 73 has hydraulic leak at the pedestal replacement part. It's a very expensive part with the vendor will rebuild the hydraulic valve. Apparatus will be at the vendor for this repair. It's going to go on Thursday and will be back hopefully Thursday night, but aerial will not be in operation until the valve is rebuilt and reinstalled next week. Unfortunately, this move is not timely, but will save about $6,000, so please give them credit for that as well. As far as equipment maintenance, saw mounts for the E63 and E62 received will be installed with gas count mounts. Chainsaws dropped off at the Borough mechanic for repair, and 3 5-gallon totes of Class A foam were put into service for general combustible fires. Also, too, just to let you know from Chief Battaglia, he does have a limited supply of smoke detectors. So if there's any residents that are in need of a smoke detector, you can please email him at milltownfirechief@milltownborough.com. And just to let everybody know, members are always needed. Any candidate interested in joining the Milltown Fire Department are encouraged to stop by the firehouse Monday nights at 6:30 or email joinmilltownfire@gmail.com. Respectfully submitted, Chief Stephen Battaglia, Chief of Milltown Fire Department. And Madam Mayor, I have one more report. This is from Chief Brian Kennelly. To all our residents, between December 31st, 2021 and January 12th, 2022, police responded to 1,047 calls for service. During this period, police conducted 97 radar details in numerous locations. Police made 137 motor vehicle stops during this period. 12 arrests were made, which included shoplifting, drunk driving, eluding police, resisting arrest, aggravated assault, and possession of hypodermic needles. Police responded to 10 motor vehicle accidents, which included minor injuries. Officers were involved in a foot chase of a shoplifting suspect who fled from police. The suspect was caught, arrested, and the $6,500 worth of merchandise was recovered. During a recent snowstorm, officers issued approximately 30 summons in violations of Ordinance 7-10. Residents are again reminded to remove vehicles and play equipment from roadway during accumulation to allow for efficient and effective snow removal. Thank you to Chief Battaglia, the Milltown Fire Department, and Milltown Rescue Squad for their rapid response and actions during a gas leak on January 12th. 7 homes and families were evacuated and relocated for their safety as repairs were made. Everyone safely returned to their homes. Also, too, would like to also include Chief Kennelly would like to thank officers Ryan Pfaff and Mike Dennis, along with the Milltown Fire Department, Milltown Rescue Squad, East Brunswick Police, and civilian volunteers for their efforts in locating a missing 6-year-old child this past Friday night. Due to their rapid response, the child was located and reunited with his family. Please continue to report suspicious activity, traffic concerns, and non-emergent types calls to 732-828-1100. Emergency and life-threatening calls, please use 911. and residents are reminded to report any concerns and/or complaints by using the official borough website or by calling the Milltown Police directly. The Milltown Police does not monitor and will not react, reply, or respond to comments or complaints posted on any third-party social media sites. Stay safe, and Happy New Year to all, and thank you, Chief Brian Kennelly. And that concludes my report, Madam
Thank you
Mayor.
very much, and thank you to the departments of public safety. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Utilities. Councilman James Bray.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, we'll start with the electric utilities report. The electric substation inspections were performed daily. Batteries were checked for proper levels. The T1 transformer containment was pumped out. Generators were tested at borough properties. Troubleshooting was performed on natural gas generator at 39 Washington Avenue. Low gas pressure was found at the unit. Met with the PSE&G to check adjustment of their new regulator, and the problem may be in an additional regulator owned by the borough. This needs to be checked out by a plumber, and once it will be reviewed, it will either be repaired or replaced. The building is also served by a large diesel unit, and this is a redundant system. The utility department replaced broken fluorescent light fixtures at Church Street Pump Control Room. New lights are energy efficient LED light fixtures with higher lumen output. Troubleshooting was performed at a stairwell fixture at the new firehouse. A bad LED driver was discovered, and a new one is on order. A new order of distribution transformers was received for planned projects in 2022. Troubleshooting was performed on 2 emergency lights in the senior center. One had a bad battery and was fixed. The second unit had a bad charging circuit, and a new fixture has now been ordered. Department members responded to an after-hours emergency for a house with half power. A new service drop was installed to replace a broken wire with faulty insulation. A fused cutout exploded behind the Acme supermarket, which caused single phasing at the adjacent strip mall. A new cutout was installed and service was restored. Department members worked with the building staff to troubleshoot building issues and provide final readings. Department members were on hand for the DPW for snow removal and garbage collection during the most recent snowstorm of January 6th. Organizing the new garage is ongoing, as well as inventory review and replenishment. Department's apprentice received training on removing and installing a pull-top transformer. And that concludes the electric report. Now on to the water and sewer. Along with all markouts, work orders, and emergency requests, Water and Sewer Department has the following to report. 23 new water meters have been installed. The hydrant near Northbrook and Riva Avenue has been repaired. On North Main Street, the sewer relief valve has been installed to stop the escape of material from the pipe. Water has been shut off at both old firehouses and the old borough garage. A hydrant was replaced at 65 Wilson Avenue. The damage done on Fisher and Tracy Drive due to a water main break has been completely repaired. Duke's Root has been in town for their yearly treatment to clear roots from our sewer mains. This year we had approximately 11,000 feet treated. Trouble spots were included in this treatment. Pump 3 has been removed and replaced for repairs at Church Street Pump. The station is scheduled to be cleaned in the next few weeks. Please check Channel 15 and milltownnj.org for any water sewer updates. And finally, just a couple of committee reports. For the Human Relations Committee, thank you to Courtney and Patty for their presentation this evening, which covered a very informative community survey. The HRC had their first meeting of the year on January 4th. They meet the first Tuesday every month. At the meeting, we began planning for the 2022 events, such as the continued book club meetings, participation in multicultural festival, and much more. As Patty and Courtney mentioned, the committee has successfully launched the HRC book club with the library board. The next book club meeting will be on Wednesday, February 9th, and they will be discussing the book How to Be Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi. To register, please send an email to hrc@milltownborough.com. For the Cable TV Committee, residents probably noticed that Channel 15 was down due to some technical difficulties after a broken fiber optic cable was discovered. After the installation of the new fiber optic cable to replace this broken one, we are now back up and running. Thank you, Russ Einbinder, for working with Cablevision to resolve that issue. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Public Works and Recycling, Councilwoman Anna Newbauer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Along with all regular curbside collections and bulk pickups, the DPW has the following to report. All vehicles were prepared and had snow plows installed in preparation for the January 7th snowstorm. During the storm, the DPW continued to clear the streets until they were open from curb to curb. The holiday snowflakes and outdoor lights at Borough Hall have been taken down and stored for next year. Christmas tree collection and chipping took place throughout the past couple weeks. Refurbishment of the pool office is still ongoing, and the DPW assisted the library with furniture moving. Concrete collection was completed for January. The next concrete collection will be April 11th through April 15th. Please call extension 187 to set up collection in advance. For DPW updates, please check channel 15 and milltownnj.org. And then we haven't had our first Board of Health meeting yet. Our first Board of Health meeting will be tomorrow, Tuesday, January 25th at 7:30 p.m. It will be a Zoom meeting, and we will most likely be talking about issues that they had discussed during last year, which includes the state's new birth registration that Kathy Beardsley has been working on, and setting up a rabies clinic in May.
Thank you. Next, we have the Department of Environmental Health and Social Services, Councilman Richfield Walensky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No official report this evening. However, I would like to update the public that the Green Team did have their first and reorganization meeting. I believe it was last week on Tuesday or Wednesday. Congratulations to Dorianne Kerber for being nominated for the chair for that position as well. A lot of things that they're planning, and look forward to working with them throughout the year. We also had our first Milltown revitalization meeting last week, and that was a reorg as well, and they're also planning some things for the near future. So look forward to working with them on some of the things coming up. And lastly, I don't know if this is going to fall under the administrator report or not, but just wanted to bring to light that we did accept all those resumes for the new recreation director position. So the personnel committee, we've met to discuss some of those and have started conducting interviews. So.
Great, thank you. Next, the Department of Recreation, Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell.
All right, I got a lot here, so.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to start with the library report. Second Tuesday is when the library board meets. They had their reorganization meeting. Officers were elected, committee chairs appointed, and new members welcomed. There's been an offer made to a new director who will start in February, and meanwhile, the staff and the board members have been holding down the fort over there. The Friends of the Library are actively selling calendars right now, and one new event that they're planning for the spring is to have a bling sale. So watch for that. And you heard in the presentation that they've also partnered with the HRC committee to do a book club in addition to their regular book club. Next, the Recreation Advisory Committee met last week. There's a lot of enthusiasm around potential new programs such as a walking club and potential interaction with other borough committees. A historical walking tour is just one example. I attended the basketball opening day briefly on Saturday, and there looked like a lot of excited parents and children there and a lot of fun to be had. The committee is anxious for more information to be put on the website and shared sooner and more broadly to engage more participants. It's been expressed that it's important to identify volunteer coaches willing to get qualified with training and background checks. Interested members of the community, we meet on the third Wednesdays, and we're currently on Zoom, but when we can be outdoors, we're anxious to have some meetings in some of our parks and things like that. In our consent agenda tonight, we welcomed one new member to the committee already, so very excited about that. From the Office of Recreation, Kim McGrath kindly prepared this report. We thank our SAC families for their patience during the last month due to unforeseen circumstances. Winter youth basketball began on Saturday, January 22nd. We're excited to be getting back on the courts after 2 years. As a reminder, masks are required in school buildings, and all spectators will be required to wear masks during practices and games. Winter yoga, women's volleyball, and men's basketball have all begun. We'll keep registration open for a few more weeks. She wrote down that long capture point email, but I'm going to tell you that I encourage you to go to our website, milltownnj.org. Under departments, you can find recreation and then look for community pass there. Friday, February 4th is Go Red for Women Day, and due to COVID-19, we'll not be offering our annual bagel breakfast for the residents. However, we still invite you to support a great cause by wearing red that day to show your support to women with heart disease and to continue the initiative to inform people about heart health. Milltown Recreation, together with Milltown Senior Center, came up in Council President Zambrana's report briefly, are partnering again for Valentine's Day. We invite all Milltown children and residents to connect with our senior community by creating Valentine's Day cards for them. All cards can be dropped off to the Valentine's mailbox located outside the police entrance here at the Borough Hall, and all cards must be received by Friday, February 4th. Please remember, if you're interested in renting a Milltown park, to please contact the Recreation Department directly to acquire a park facility usage form. Please note that we're still accepting non-perishable food donations for our Milltown neighbors in need, as well as for the Middlesex County Food Bank, which supports Milltown residents. You may drop off items at Borough Hall and place them in the green bins in the hallway of the main entrance during normal business hours. Please do not leave food in the police entrance vestibule, and please remember that masks are required to enter the building. And Kim ends with wishing everyone a happy and healthy New Year. And my last note is, I told you I had a lot going on. The Historical Preservation Committee will be meeting on Thursday at 6:30 via Zoom. This is an active and passionate group, and I look forward to working with them this year. And that finally concludes my reports.
Thank you. Okay, so now Jeanette, anything from the administrator today?
No report tonight.
Okay, then we'll move on to the engineer report. Looks like Mr. McClellan has a few things.
Yes, Madam Mayor, 3 items tonight. First is we want to update the Mayor and Council about this emergency response plan, which the DEP requires from water systems of your size. The requirement was to submit it to DEP prior to the end of the year, and it was submitted, reviewed with staff, prepared, and submitted per the requirements. And basically, it's a list of things that happen should the emergency occur in the borough and what the operation for resolving those issues are. Second, we have with us some drawings of the Little League Field, which is a submittal from the company that's being utilized to put the lighting in for your athletic field. We have lumen ratings and foot candle ratings, and it looks like it's going to work very well. We have a couple of lumen ratings that appear to exceed on some of the rear of the properties on Bruce Court. We will contact the company tomorrow to see if a shield can be put up. But I think the Mayor and Council want to understand that there may be some issues with some lighting overlap, not only from the poles, but there's something called sky glow that you see from these lights. You don't plan on having them on all night long, so that as soon as the games are over, on my understanding, you'll be turning them off. But we wanted to let you know that there is some spillage which will occur based upon the drawings we got from Musco. There are sometimes a shield that can be put on. We're going to talk to them about it. But the problem with these lights is you need to keep a certain amount of lighting levels on the field or people can get hurt. So we want you to understand that and make sure you're aware of it. So, but as I said, since you're not leaving them on all night, there may be some times where during the games these folks see the lights, but there's very little you can do about it. It's on the other side of the tracks on Bruce Court. Okay. The last thing I have for you is a set of plans and specifications for the Hague Avenue Patain improvements. They're completed. We're requesting authorization to advertise for bids. The costs are within the original budgets. And we have also included in this set the foundation for the Firehouse Memorial, which is included in the package and will be constructed by the contractor pretty much first on the job to try and get that done for the firemen. So if we can get authorization to advertise, we'd appreciate it. And we'll go get bids and be back to you with a recommendation very shortly.
Great.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the engineer?
Just two.
Sure.
So, Musco Lighting, that looks like that's gonna make opening day, right?
That's the goal. I think one of the things Musco says is, we make it happen.
Right. I like that. Okay.
April 2nd.
April 2nd, okay, good.
Exactly. And then,
We'll send the message. They know, we've sent the messages many times.
so the memorial for, the foundation for the memorial for the fire department, that's definitely gonna be in place by Memorial Day, if not sooner.
But we're gonna try.
Okay.
We have to get the bids, make sure the bids come in properly, and we'll require it to be his first thing of business.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Understand.
Anyone else? Mike, that report, does it show which properties on Bruce will
Yes.
be affected? So
Yeah.
will those people get some sort of notification that this is occurring, or how does that work?
We can notify them. It's not normally done, but we can notify them. It's, as I said, it's less than 1 foot candle. It's a very small amount, but I didn't want to, just let it happen without folks knowing about it. It's a situation where you can barely notice it, but, the drawings show that there is some lighting levels. I mean, it's like 0.3 foot candles on one lot. I mean, it's next to almost non-detectable, but, there is in fact an issue.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Thank you.
Mike, will there be any more additional clearing or anything going on over there to accommodate the installation of the lights for Field 2?
No, the way it looks right now, the poles will all be installed in the open areas in and around the fields. And you do have a line of trees on that line in the backyards on Bruce Court, so that may even affect it. Remember, these poles are going to be 60 to 70 feet high, so the lighting goes up pretty high. Okay.
And I know there was some talk recently, and I'll throw it out there. I was going to talk about it during possible new business, but the estimated cost for those, does that fall in line with what we have budgeted for the installation of those lights? Because there's been some concern over the quality of the bathrooms down there at that facility, and I'm wondering if we might have some extra funds laying around after these lights are installed out of those grants to try and fix those up.
There may be a little bit left, not a lot. There may be a little bit left, so, we haven't got the final numbers from Musco yet. We'll get it very soon. We did put a little bit of contingency in there, but not a lot. So, okay?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any report from our attorney, Mr. Vignola, this evening?
No report tonight.
Okay, so then it goes on to me for a few comments. So, we always run and talk about accountability. I'm going to start by talking accountability for myself. I sat up here at the reorg and said that I would come and have a presentation about the Mayor's Wellness Committee. I don't have that yet, so I just want to hold myself accountable that I did go on the website and, got some of the paperwork that we will need to submit, but I wanted to do a better presentation to give to all of you, so I will do that definitely at some time in February. Also, speaking of accountability, we had said last year that we were going to put money aside in the budget to take down all of the borough, all of the trees that are in the borough easement. I'm happy to report that I spoke to the Director of Public Works today, and I think we've gotten all but 1 or 2 down. Is that right, Jeanette? So I thank him and his team, and we had to contract out to a tree company to get some done, but that list has been around for a really long time, so I'm happy that that's been taken care of. I did have Channel 15 on my list to explain, but James already got that. What I did learn was how many people rely on Channel 15, so thank you, Mr. Einbinder, for working hard to get it set up, because I did get a lot of calls from people wondering what was going on. So I'm glad that it's back up and running today. And the last thing about accountability is I heard, and I think several council people did, is we had a little snafu with the email that went out about the rec basketball this weekend. It's something that happened 2 years ago. We said it would never happen again, and it happened again. So we looked into what happened. It turns out it's something as simple as an Excel tab that was overlooked, and so that tab has now been deleted, and so that will not happen again. We don't want to send out information that we shouldn't, so we apologize, but we've got to the root cause, and it won't happen again. So with that, I will move on to old business.
Just one question that I actually asked our clerk about as well. Tonight, under resolution 5522. We have the surplus sale of an old Hyundai Sonata from 2007. Not sure where this comes from, but it reminded me that we removed some surplus equipment that the borough acquired, former fire trucks, OEM vehicles, and I was just wondering if anyone on council, before Mimi winds up having to dig into the stacks of paper, if anyone else knows, did we ever post that equipment last year or possibly even the year prior for sale for surplus? Because from what I understand, it was council's intent to remove us of ownership of that equipment.
I will defer to the administrator on that question.
Yes.
Jeanette, do you have an answer for that?
Sure. So the Sonata, that is an impounded vehicle that is in the tow yard right now. So that's and that's being sold. We did start the cleanup process of some of the properties to move the vehicles, and the intention was to have an auction to get rid of those. Some of them were affected by the flooding that occurred with Ida and the storm before, so we will get some insurance money for those. And then the others, at some point will be sold, because it's not even just the vehicles, but it's other surplus equipment that both the police and DPW have been working on to get a full list together.
Thank you. And what's the process for that auction? Well, how does that work, Jeanette?
So once everything is put together, and then with the vehicles, you have to get the VIN numbers, and we'll have to do a resolution, then it'll be posted online, and that's the bidding process will be online.
Got it. Thank you.
Do we have a tentative date for that, or
I do
something you're
not.
shooting for?
I do not.
Any other old business? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Does any member of the council have any new business they'd like to bring before us this evening?
Madam Mayor, I just want to let you know that we had a meeting with the Milltown Fire Department chiefs on the 17th, and we're actually looking forward to having a meeting with the rescue squad on February 16th.
Oh, that's great.
Phil, myself, and Anna
Good.
will be meeting with them. So we're looking forward to a meet and greet.
Good. Thank you. Seeing no other new business, I will move on to audience comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from comment until the speaker has finished. It should further be noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has a specific question they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the appropriate office. Please state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. Oh, Mr. Einbinder, yes, sorry, I didn't.
Change your camera, hold on. Not that big. Okay. Arms aren't that long. Good evening, Russell Einbinder, 152A North Main Street. On behalf of the cable channel, that's why I'm here. It has nothing to do with the outage. This has to do with, when Courtney was talking, I saw on the presentation today something about people want more information available to them. Well, as Mimi can tell you, and as her predecessor also did, because she made it happen when she was here, Gabriella, with our new website, yes, there are things we need to fix on our website. I'm pretty sure everybody in this room agrees with me. But we do have now, for those that don't know, that aren't on social media, for instance, and are watching me here, if you go to the website and you go to one of the main tabs at the top to say Community, there's a drop-down on there that says Milltown TV. You click that, and it opens up a page with the same exact presentation, because that's what it is. It is the same presentation as what people here in Milltown are seeing. So if you have Fios at home, or if you don't have cable at all at home, it doesn't matter. You can do it on your phone. Anywhere you can get the Milltown channel, website, you can go there. So if you want to know when the next American Legion spaghetti dinner is, you want to know what the VFW's next fish fry is, you want to know, what the Lions Club is doing, you want to know what the next school open house is, churches, everything that is given to Channel 15 that people see there, besides the videos, all that information is there. It's live. It's the exact same Google Slides presentation. So please, if you're smart, make it simple for yourself. Do it. Make a bookmark on your desktop, and that way on your phone. And anytime you want to know what's going on in Milltown, just go to that presentation. You can go back and forth at your own leisure. You don't have to wait So it's there. We're trying to make it better, but it does exist. The information's there. People just need to know how to access it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I guess I will say that we're actually going to work a little bit to update the website. So maybe when that gets all fixed up and shined up and spiffy, let's see if we could do like a little demo one time so that we can show it to people, show them some of the new features and the features that are there that I think a lot of people just aren't aware of or can't find because of the setup. Any other members of the audience? Seeing none, I will close audience comments and move on to council comments. Does any member of the council have any final comments?
Quickly, I'll just mention that Recreation Department is always in need of coaches. It was made clear during our Recreation Subcommittee call that both James and Margaret were on. I'm coaching as well this year. We actually had the head coach step down just before the start of the season, so yours truly is apparently a head coach of basketball. Not that I'm not excited, just a little nervous. So if you are, folks, if you're at home and you have some skill sets, whether your kid's playing or not, please consider volunteering for coaching. It really would help our youth and get the most benefit out of the programs. Other than that, I just wanted to bring to the council's attention, I received a phone call or a text message early this morning. In fact, it might have been yesterday morning, if memory serves me right, just inquiring about the allowable usage on Ford Avenue. The resident in particular asked about some vehicles that are parked there. They appear to be, whether it's abandoned or just or what the status is, but, you know, is that property able to be just parked on, or what is the property owner currently allowed to do with that property? And I asked, just in general, if anyone knows, it's always good for the residents to know that when they ask.
The site, actually?
The site itself, it seems that there's, you know, quite a bit of vehicles parked there. There's been more trucks coming in and out that aren't necessarily hauling away debris, but, you know.
So I've spoken to residents there over the years too, and each time I've contacted code enforcement. So that's a code enforcement issue. So if you want, contact code enforcement, because they shouldn't be on there. There is a certain spot back there where that trucking company parks, but at one point, when that trucking company across the street was being, they were doing some work there, all of those trucks parked on the Ford Avenue property, and the residents that lived on Ford Avenue had just a mass of trucks. And then if they're abandoned, they get graffiti and things like that, and it was really an unacceptable situation for those people living on Ford Avenue. So that is certainly in violation of the code of, you know, that you can't just have anything dumped or parked there.
Okay, so just to make it a little louder, contact code enforcement.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll contact them too and let them, put them on this end of it, okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else have any last comment?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I just want to let you know, this past Saturday, I attended the New Jersey State League of Municipalities orientation for municipal officers that are newly elected, re-elected, or experienced in Mount Laurel. It was in person. There was about 100 people there. And let's just say I have a new appreciation for all of our borough staff and professionals. So thank you very much.
That's good. Good to know. And thanks for doing that. Anyone else? I will say something that I forgot when I was talking in my comments, so that I do, get calls from residents, and I got a couple calls from somebody and who wanted to be here tonight but couldn't because it's his daughter's birthday. So I would like to wish a young lady named Grace a very happy birthday this evening. So I hope she's having a good time. My Grace isn't going to have her birthday for a couple weeks, but the other Grace is much younger, and I hope she's having fun celebrating tonight. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I was debating on whether or not telling people that it's my wife's birthday this week.